Hello, I'm your host today, Julia Yorks. I am here with John Tran, the head of development for Kinolime, and we are so excited because we are going to talk some scripts today for the Script to Screen annual competition. I've worked with Kinolime in the past, and I think what you guys are doing is so exciting because this is the largest screenplay competition prize, which is essentially that the winner gets their script optioned and then also produced with an up to $15 million budget.
I know, we're crazy, right?
It's insane. A lot of working screenwriters that I know have never had their work produced.
Yeah.
So it's huge.
Typically competitions, you get like an option or a small fee, whatever, but we're really like going for it. We really believe in the audience and we want to hear what everyone has to say. So we're like so pumped. And these 3 screenplays.
I am so excited to get into our next finalist, which is Cooperville.
Oh no. And this has been the screenplay. Like if you're talking about log lines here, wow, does this like just grab you? Like initially when this came in and we saw the log line, we were all like me and the reading team were just like, all right, we got everyone read this now because like it's insane.
Well, why don't we read the log line for all of you at home? For Cooperville, the log line is: a series of racially charged disappearances leads a detective and a group of young people to a mysterious town with a shocking secret. And the secret is shocking. If you've read the script. I would describe this comp-wise as either Get Out or Silence of the Lambs meets Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is a really fun comp.
Like, I don't think, like who sits down at a keyboard is like, I'm going to do Silence of the Lambs with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, just a really cool concept, a twist that I did not see coming.
So, I mean, really smart. I think to like the author was, when we spoke to him, he wanted to talk about, certain racial tensions, but he wanted to do it in a very unique way. I mean, like Get Out did its own thing, but I think this is like on the level, dare I say, on a Get Out in terms of a premise. Like where we're starting out.
Agreed. Well, I think what's so cool is I comp Silence of the Lambs because I think that it takes a lot to really be able to create a big, memorable bad guy on the page. Yeah. And even just the Bugman.
Yes.
Like having that moniker, I think is so cool and really memorable.
And it feels like a graphic novel in some ways too. Yeah. Like I could totally see this being a graphic novel that I would go pick up in the store and like definitely read immediately. Yeah. It also has like the Cell vibes, with Jennifer Lopez. Like, because again, Vincent D'Onofrio's character was like so crazy because he had to go into the, in the coma and whatever and find through his memories. And it had like that feel too of like they're in a different world and dealing with it. Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, something that I think is also really cool is I was just talking to a producer about what people are looking for. Yeah. And I think everyone is trying to find a procedural, but for the screen. And that's what this does because it has that police detective cop element. Yes. And then also this really cool kind of Get Out sci-fi premise as well.
So why do you think we should give the audience a little feel here?
Let's do it. Let's hop right into our reading. We are joined today by some lovely actors who are going to be bringing this script to life. Playing the role of Gloria, we have Amber Jessie. Playing the role of Detective Thompson, we have Jonathan Castro. And playing the role of Detective Perry, we've got Connor Bullock. Amazing. Let's do it.
All right. Do you want to set the scene up?
I would love to. So this is a scene in which the detectives are starting to put together the pieces. And so they go to interrogate, or not interrogate, they go...
Question.
Yes, they're being kind. So in this scene, our detectives are just kind of starting to pull at the strings of this mystery. And so they end up going to question a former victim who seems to have some ties potentially to this twisted world. Yeah. And so they go to her home in this scene. Exterior Marone House day. A modest 2-story house in a quiet neighborhood. A car pulls up in the front and Thompson and Perry climb out. As they approach the house, the front door opens, revealing an older black woman, mid-60s or so, with a seen-it-all face. This is Gloria Marone. Gloria nods a greeting at the 2 detectives as they wave back at her.
Once again, I want to thank you for agreeing to let us speak to Vanessa.
Interior Marone house, living room, minutes later. Thompson and Perry stand while Gloria sits on a couch in her spacious and very lived-in living room. The walls are filled with paintings, and framed photographs of family occupy every table and shelf in the place.
I'll admit, it did throw me for a bit of a loop. I thought the police had already given up on trying to figure out what happened to Vanessa.
I wouldn't really use the words given up.
Well, I just did.
Thompson shoots Perry a let me deal with this look. Perry nods in agreement and walks around the living room, looking at the pictures. A lot of them feature Gloria and a pretty young woman with a dazzling smile. This must be Vanessa. Thompson turns to Gloria, who simply looks back at him. Clearly, she's not too trusting of these two men in her house.
Miss Marone, I can assure you that every police person in this county did everything they could to figure out what happened to Vanessa.
For 3 whole days. Then a white girl named Daisy went missing, and that was that. Thing is, Daisy ran away. Ran away and came back home. Fine as can be.
I'm aware of that, but...
Meanwhile, my daughter, well, you know how she is now.
Well, I've read her reports, but they weren't very clear on what happened.
Of course they weren't.
Miss Marone, please.
Don't Miss Marone please me in my house, detective. I have every right to be angry.
And we don't disagree. But we may have information that may lead to figuring out what happened to Vanessa. We just need you to tell us about the events before her disappearance. Anything unusual.
It's just like I told the police and the detectives and the reporters and anyone who would listen then. Vanessa had just broken up with some idiot boy named Maurice. I'll admit I was more than a little short with her a few times, and it led to a huge argument. She goes to bed angry. The next morning I make breakfast and head to her room to wake her up, get her ready for school. Ain't no closed doors in my house, so I see that she ain't in her room. Windows open. Fool girl had snuck out, I'm thinking, probably to see that damn fool boy. I tried calling her, but her phone is turned off. So I go to work, do what I do every day, and come home, fully expecting her to come back home and for me to tear her a new one. But she ain't home. So I tried calling her again, nothing. Now I get scared and call the police. They tell me she has to be gone for 2 days before I can say she's missing. So I call the next day and say she's missing. They tell me they're doing a search, doing everything they can, but there's nothing. Then little Miss Daisy goes going and they just forget about Vanessa.
Didn't just forget about...
Thompson shoots him another look. Harry, frustrated, goes about looking at all the photos again. His attention is focused on a particularly pleasant picture of Vanessa, dressed to go out, maybe to a school dance, her smile wide and welcoming. Gloria, after dismissing Perry with a disapproving smirk, continues.
I'm all alone for 24 hours, not knowing where my baby is. And I tell you, I had never been so scared in my life. And until I saw her that night. I dozed off on this very couch. When I woke up, she was standing right over me.
Smash cut to Gloria's POV. We're looking up as Vanessa leans over us, looking like something out of a nightmare. Her eyes are wide and manic, and she has a smile that seems impossibly large. It's terrifying. Return to scene.
And she was still gone. She was different. Vanessa and I had an argument. She ran away from home and came back 3 days later, nutty as a fruitcake. And nobody in this goddamn town has done anything to figure out why.
May we speak to her?
You can try.
And scene. Awesome work, you guys.
Right.
Love it. Very cool. So, what did you all think of this scene?
I purposely did not want to know too much because this character's piecing it together.
Yeah,
Yep.
method.
But it's
Yes.
quite a world that he's walking into and uncovering. So
Yeah,
I'm just as eager to find out what happens as my character is.
yeah, love that.
Connor?
Yeah, no, I think the comparison, at least this side of the plot being a sort of similar to Silence of the Lambs, I think reads pretty well. Uncovering this mystery of like an impossibly evil person, like an almost mystically evil person.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely pretty fascinating. And then sort of the racial dynamics aspect, because as I understand it, Perry, I think it's pretty clear that Perry is like a white cop and Thompson being a black cop, that sort of tension with the tension of the murder mystery itself it opens a lot of avenues for sort of thematic exploration. So it's cool. Very cool.
Very true.
I can feel the frustration that Gloria has.
Yeah.
Sure.
It definitely comes through, especially how long it's been, and now it's like, oh, you're back. for what?
Yeah.
So.
No, what I love about this is the dialogue. I feel like really just flows, and that monologue can probably become sort of a mouthful, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels really real and grounded.
Absolutely, yeah. And then just the build up to it, because it's eerie. Like, I don't know what's going on with her, and then her story, and then the next scene, which is awesome when they actually interview. Vanessa is fantastic. So it just really is like the perfect build up to the next scene where things are going to collide, and you're going to really see or hear some like interesting stuff, which makes the plot go this way.
Yeah.
Which is a really interesting device.
And something in this scene too that I thought was interesting is the moment where she says, "I've never been so scared in my entire life." Until she came home.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Where it's like, that's a cool moment when you're writing, if you can really just kind of thwart our expectations and subvert them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Great read, everybody. And if you would like to see Cooperville make it to the big screen, then you have to vote for it. Just go to Kinolime.com and vote if you want this finalist to be the winner.
If you want to see Silence of the Lambs meets Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in Twin Peaks, go to Kinolime.com, read, rate, and vote on Cooperville. Could be an amazing film. If you want to make it happen, make it happen, please. And
Kinolime, let's make a movie together.
all right, thank you.